Today, we're going to be making this with this out of this. So we've got an acrylic template that we're going to trace out on this piece of material. Bing, bang, boom. And then we're going to cut it out. I'm going to use the Festool PSC 420 to cut out the shape. It helps when you have the dust collection on. So I've rough cut out our shape. As you can see, there's a little bit of meat on there. That's perfect, because now I can take our router with this router bit and the bearing that's right up here and run it along that template. I'm going to stick it down with some double stick tape and move on to the next step. Now I'm going to apply it to the piece here, get it lined up to my line. As long as I've got a little bit of meat on all the sides, the line doesn't really matter. Press that down, and now this won't move when I go to run the router around. I got my router all hooked up to my dust collection. I'm going to take this MFK 700. I'm going to run this half of the template. I'm going to flip it. I'll do the other half. So one thing to be aware of when you're using a router is that you want to be aware of the direction of the bit spinning. In this particular case, when you're looking at it from the top down, the bit is spinning in the clockwise direction. So I'm going to move anti-clockwise around the piece, and that's going to prevent it from getting away from me or suddenly catching and pulling in the direction that I don't want it to. The template allows us to make a nice clean reference when we're using the router, because the template is what we're tracing. We're not tracing a line. So it takes out a lot of that room for error that you might have if you were just using a jigsaw. All right, so I'm going to just pull this off using my feats of strength and this putty knife. And I go where that tape is. Sometimes you find you use a little bit too much. You got to be careful. I might have used a little bit too much, so I got to be careful.
Success.
All right, so I'm just going to reattach this, run the router around it again, this time with a round over bit to give it a little bit more of a comfortable profile. All right, last time it was a little messy, so I changed up my dust collection, give us a little bit better pulling power right at the bit. Let's see how it changes things. All right, so we've routed out our edges, made it nice and smooth. Normally you're going to want to go ahead and sand it, throw some finish on it. You can use a mineral oil, maybe a wax, something like that. But other than that, pretty simple project, ready to go, just for you.